Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Wendell Epps, the radio play-by-play voice of the Minnesota Lynx. Thank you to those of you in attendance here today at Target Center, including our Lynx staff, players, coaches, as well as our loyal season ticket members. And to those of you watching on lynxbasketball.com as well, welcome. Today, we're excited to welcome to the Twin Cities the newest member of the Lynx family, and welcome back a familiar face that I think just some of you, just some, might actually recognize here in this room today. The Lynx have added Eric Thibault and Lindsay Whalen to the coaching staff. Welcome to Minnesota to 2019 WNBA champion Eric Thibault. Born in Chicago and growing up in Omaha and Milwaukee, Thibault previously served as head coach of the Washington Mystics for the 2023 and 2024 seasons. Thibault spent 10 seasons as an assistant for the Mystics, including 4 as the associate head coach. Thibault helped lead the Mystics to 9 postseason appearances, including each of his seasons as head coach. He was pivotal in the franchise's back-to-back WNBA Finals appearances in 2018 and 2019. And in 2019, the year he was promoted to associate head coach, Thibault and Washington captured the franchise's first ever WNBA championship. Eric Thibault, everyone. All right, and I know it's Monday, but let's get some energy in the room. Please help me welcome, you know her, 4-time WNBA champion with the Minnesota Lynx, Lindsay Whalen. The Hutchinson, Minnesota native previously spent 5 seasons at her alma mater, serving as head coach of the University of Minnesota's women's basketball program from 2018 to 2023. Whalen began her WNBA coaching career with the Lynx right back at home, where she will begin here as a player. She made an unforgettable impact here on this team, on this city, and the WNBA as well as a league. And let me just name here just a few of her accomplishments. Whalen was inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 2022 and the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame in 2023 after a 15-year WNBA career with Connecticut and Minnesota. Minnesota officially retired her number 13 jersey in 2019. Whalen won 4 WNBA championships here with the Lynx in 2011, 2013, 2015, and 2017. She earned 5 All-Star and 5 All-WNBA selections as well. Whalen tallied 323 career victories, which is the second most all-time, and 54 postseason wins, which is the second most all-time behind friend, teammate, and now fellow coach, Rebecca Brunson. A few of her Lynx accolades, we're just getting started here, so I might want to grab a cup of coffee or something. Whalen was acquired by Minnesota in a trade with Connecticut in January of 2010. She spent 9 seasons with the Minnesota Lynx, where she holds the franchise record in assists, ranks 2nd in games played, and is 5th in scoring. Man, that is quite a resume. Whalen captured gold with the United States women's national team during the Olympics as well in 2012, as well as in 2016 with Cheryl Reeve as an assistant coach. Ladies and gentlemen, Lindsay Whalen, everybody. Now, one of the cool things here that I love is that Whalen and Thibault, they've known each other for some years. They have a nice connection. Whalen played under Eric's father, Mike Thibault, in Connecticut, coached with his sister, Carly Thibault, Doddens at Minnesota, and now Whalen and Eric will coach here together with the Lynx. So a nice reunion here for the Whalen family as well as the Thibault family as well. The addition of Thibault and Whalen here to the Lynx coaching staff equips this team with more high-level experience and perspective as they work toward the big goals we have set for this upcoming season. Definitely trying to get a championship. I would love a ring. That would be very nice. To tip off today's press conference, we'll start with a few words from Lynx head coach and president of basketball operations, Cheryl Reeve. After that, we'll open it up to questions from the media. Coach, going to start here. Cheryl, obviously this is a very exciting day for the Lynx franchise. You're bringing in not just 2 wonderful coaches here in Lindsay and Eric, but 2 great people as well. Just when you're bringing 2 people like them in, what excites you most about having them on board, and how do you feel like they can contribute to your Lynx staff?
Yeah, I thought it was a great opportunity. Obviously, Katie Smith was tremendous for us for the years that she was here. And I think in terms of the opportunity that we had with Eric's availability, I thought it was a seamless transition in terms of what Eric brings to the table in terms of basketball knowledge, his love to be on the court with players, and I think his overall vision for how the game should be played. So there were a lot of ways that I thought that he was a perfect fit. And unrelated to any family history between, Eric and Way. In and of itself, Eric as a standalone was really appealing to us. And Lindsay, what's great is towards the end of the season, Courtney stopped listening to me. And so now we have a coach that you have to listen to her. You heard all those amazing things. How do you not listen to somebody? And Wade just told me that, Sue Bird has the record, but Wade did it in 15 years and Sue did it in 25. And so she said, I should be, but no, I mean, obviously Way is, a legend for this franchise and, what she brings to the table. I think what I'm really excited about Lindsay is that timing is everything. And our time to be together as a coach and be on the same staff is now. And you can feel Lindsay's enthusiasm. It's palpable. Her passion, obviously, we know what was written about and people followed Lindsay's enjoyment of our team this past season. But to be on the court and to have somebody that's been there and done this, like we have with Rebecca Brunson, at the lead guard position, I think is going to be invaluable. So I'm really super excited to add both Lindsay and Eric.
Awesome. We'll now begin with our Q&A session with the media here. We'll start with Kent here.
Eric, Reeve, Coach Reeve talked about how the family is just a bonus, but that wasn't really why she wanted you on the staff. But the comfortability that you have with these people the minute you walk in the store, how will that help you kind of hit the ground running?
Well, first of all, let me just say thanks to everybody. This is an amazing turnout. It's great to be here. But, like as you said, the personal connection is great. I do look at it like a bonus. We're very familiar with this organization. I think it's been documented that we kind of practiced against each other every year in the preseason. We have had a lot of connections over the years. But, what I'm most excited about is just joining a group that's had a great team culture, competitive culture. I think I'm really aligned with what this team and the Lynx organization has been about. It's what I'm most excited for. And so, even with Lindsay and Cheryl and everybody, I think our values are really similar about the game and how you should be, how it should be played, what it means to be on a team, going after a goal together. I think those are all the things that really sold me on coming here.
What impressed you most about the team that you watched and played against in the Lynx this year?
Shoot, I could feel it from the first, these guys know we practiced against them the first week of the season, and you could feel already then the culture that they were building, the connection they had as a team. They really brought out the best in each other. Everybody played defense, everybody moved the ball, everybody could score. And I think stylistically it was really similar to a lot of our Mystics teams. And, you knew when you were playing against them that you were really going to have to be on point or they just pick you apart. And so, I'm just going to hopefully do what I can to add a piece to the puzzle and, get everybody where we want to go.
Lindsay, Andrew Dukowitz with Zone Coverage. Welcome back.
Thanks.
I just wanted to know, how excited are you to be back here? And in particular, how excited are you to coach a passionate guard like Courtney Williams and bring this team to the next level?
Yeah, I guess the last month or so, when it kind of all, kind of started to, have discussions and things. It's pretty much the only thing I've been able to think about, outside of, Thanksgiving and things like that. I just, and what sides I was going to eat and everything. But it just was, I don't know. I wasn't, sure. You don't know, the different opportunities that could present themselves. And so, yeah, I just have been, so excited. Obviously, this team was, so fun to watch because of just how they played and how you could just feel like either through the TV or watching the games, like there was just this energy and chemistry that was just like, it was inspiring, and it was, they did things the right way. And so, yeah, when this has kind of come up, I'm just, I'm thrilled, very excited for the opportunity. I can't wait, as you mentioned, to work with all of the players, to get to know everybody even better. But obviously, a great backcourt sitting right here, and they bring so many different things to the table that I'm just excited to get started. And I guess that's the last time I'll say excited, because I've said it 10 times now in that answer. So other than the fact that I'm thrilled to be here, and ecstatic, really. So, I play Wordle and I play Spelling Bee every day, so I'm really big on the synonyms. And so we'll just stop there. Thanks.
I'm Marielle with WCCO TV. Coach Reeve, we all saw Whalen go viral during the playoffs when she was kind of co-coaching from the sidelines. What did you think of that when you saw it? Did you say, like, okay, she's ready, let's put her in? I mean, what was that moment like for you to see her talking to the players and kind of giving some assistance?
I mean, I think it's fun to sort of kind of reach back into the past of the dynasty teams, because I thought this team had so many qualities that were similar to those teams. And obviously Rebecca, being on the staff, we did a lot of reminiscing along the way, and we would talk about those things. And I think to see someone being in the stands like Lindsay, that had walked the walk, had been through all of that, to see her have joy in watching the game of basketball, and that we brought that to her. I mean, that was really special.
Did you feel that in that moment, Lindsay? Like, I'm ready, put me in.
Well, maybe not back into the playing court, but no, I know, I see what you're saying. Yes, I think it was probably after the second time it went around the wave that I may or may not have started in Game 4. I really felt like during that playoff run that these guys went through. I know a lot of the staff was there, and obviously Becky, but I don't know, me and Moan and Maya and Sil, we were texting constantly, and just I guess my the best ability was availability, so I was here. And so I felt like I wanted to be kind of that, person who's kind of here, other than, everybody who was on the staff, to really show support because of how much we all loved watching this group play. And so yeah, and then Fee talked me into flying out for Game 5, and there we go. So it was really a truly a great time watching them all season, but then even more throughout the playoffs.
For Coach Thibault, Terry Horseman with the Next. Welcome to Minnesota. Coach mentioned your availability just a moment ago, and after 10 plus years with the Mystics, first time in your coaching career that's really been the case for you. I'm curious, what was it like to navigate that process for the first time in your professional career, and what stood out about the Minnesota Lynx as the next ideal landing spot for you?
Availability is about the nicest way to put that, isn't it? Yeah, no, it was different. I mean, we were lucky to have a long run in DC. You don't get that often in this business. But once Cheryl called, it just seemed like a perfect fit, to the point where you kind of had to question everything, because it almost seemed too seamless of a fit. And I kind of touched on it before, but it's the type of basketball I like to be a part of. It's good people. That was my very short list of criteria: good team, good players, good staff, and there's actually a lot of Thibaults floating around Minnesota, so this is kind of a pseudo home as well. So it's good to be a part of it now.
And then for Lindsay, in terms of returning to coaching, what have you really reflected on in sort of the last 18 or so months, and what about the timing of this moment makes it a great time for you to return to coaching?
Yeah, I think, first, kind of at the start, it's just all of a sudden you have just a little more time going right from playing right over to the U of M. It was a chance to just kind of take a little bit of a breath and just kind of take a little bit and just kind of see a little bit what's next, and also not be thinking about, just kind of being and, playing tennis and doing all those things, and being, with family, and being able to, be more available to do all those things. So, and then I got to be like a fan and just watch and just watch and really enjoy, the WNBA season, last summer and then last college season, then this WNBA season, and really just take it all in and get to the point where you just you just miss being like in the gym, like so bad. You just miss being like at practice and at workouts and just really having that time to really, really miss it. Whereas before it went, one ended, I kind of just went right into the next thing. So I think that's been positive and yeah.
Cheryl, 4 years ago, how you doing? 4 years ago, you made a commitment to an all-woman coaching staff, and for all the right reasons, and you went into a lot of depth about that. What about Eric's credentials made you decide to make an exception in this case?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I think about that time 4 years ago where we were trying to make a change in our league with regard to who we were putting forward for coaching positions. And, I was really targeted in saying I wanted to make sure that we were putting women and women of color in these positions to be the next head coach. Because I had some lightly qualified males along the way that would get like the first chance. And so I think at that time, that's what was the right thing to do for where we are right now. And I think to put the best foot forward for this team, this was the best opportunity. There was a tremendous pool of candidates out there with 7 teams making changes. So you do what's right for the time. I am still very committed to women and women of color being on staff. And it's so that priority hasn't changed. This opportunity presented itself, and I thought it was what was best for the players. And that's the route that we chose.
Okay, I think it's pretty obvious what Lindsay's responsibilities are going to be. Where and what exactly is Eric going to be responsible for? And then, Eric, what are you ready to do here?
It's not obvious to me what Lindsay's responsibilities are going to be. We're going to, we're a new staff. We're a new, we're going to spend a lot of time together, and we're going to, our head counts have grown in our staff. So we have a lot of people that are around the team now. And so we're going to put all of our heads together and see the places where we're strong and see the places where we need to fill in and say, okay, Wade, that's going to be your gig, or Eric, this is going to be your gig. And, obviously BB's a leader of the staff now, right? And 5 years, right? This is year 5, I think, coming up. And so, yeah, I mean, I think we're excited about opportunities, and we're always going to be nimble for what the team needs. And I think the time that we'll spend together, the job has changed so much. It's no longer just this seasonal, where you show up and, you get on the floor a little bit and you coach. There's a lot in the off season now, and there's real value. Rebecca obviously has her, call it her day job, doing the broadcasting. And, but I think in terms of, walk in her office right now, you see a list of prospects of names, and, Lindsay's going to be out scouting. Eric, we're all the decision makers with regard to our roster. And so I think we've really gained. I think Eric is tremendous in that space. I think Lindsay has always had a thirst for the roster stuff, even as a player. She'd come in and sit down, and we'd be talking about the board, kind of like what Courtney likes to do. K-Mac kind of sometimes will pop in there, kind of sometimes gets in there. But I think this is all the staff thing, and this is what we're excited to do. And I think I have to learn, all the strengths and ways that we can enhance the group that we have.
We'll now take some questions from media members tuning in. I'll share it, and you guys can just answer for those on the stream. Coming from Andy, congratulations, Eric. Have you been able to determine at this point what opportunities exist for any current players on the roster? And if so, what do you think they need to do?
I think it's, I haven't even had a chance to talk to everybody on the roster yet. But, even the ones that are here today, first thing is just getting to know the people on the roster. I think players will tell you that there's a bunch of people that can work on skills or somebody's game, but they want to have that relationship and that trust that you want what's best for them, you want what's best for the team. And, so those will be conversations I have with the players first before, I talk publicly about it, trying to figure out what makes them tick and what motivates them and what's on their list of things to get better, and we'll put our heads together and come up with a plan.
From Kareem Copeland, Eric, what is this moment like after spending over a decade in Washington and getting your first head coaching opportunities, and what are some of the feelings with how things have ended and moving into this opportunity?
Kareem is still instigating from DC. It actually feels pretty fresh, I would say. We were in it. We had built something in DC for 12 years, and it's what I was passionate about doing every day. And that chapter is closed, and it's time for a new one. And it just feels really fresh and exciting, to steal Lindsay's word. But I think I'm a different person now than I was I'm 37 now. I was 25 when we got to DC. I was young. I didn't know anything. Maybe I know a little bit more. I've got a little bit more experience, and I'm just excited to do it with a new group. And it's a group that's been together a while, a little bit, and now I got to figure out how I fit into the mix. But that's the exciting challenge.
Then from Jackie Powell, this one is for Cheryl. I'm curious how significant you find this period of the W and where there will be 2 expansion drafts in around a full calendar year, especially amid the times during the financial crisis years ago when a bunch of franchises folded.
What's the actual question?
Essentially, how does it feel knowing there's so much expansion coming now when in the past there was concern in the financial crisis?
Yeah, so the financial side of the league, it's exciting, right? As the players are sitting here and the opportunities that they're getting from when the first time that Courtney and K-Mac were in the league, how much it's changed, and expansion means more jobs. Obviously, expansion means more money for the league, and exposure, more than 12 teams finally, that to get to experience this. And yeah, I mean, it's exciting. It's a great time. It's never been better. Valuations of franchises continue to skyrocket like they all are doing in all women's sports. And yeah, I think it's what everybody knows.
And then Jackie, as well, also for you, do you have any plans to share around potential changes in the team as well, or not?
Not. Thanks, Jackie, but not.
Also, going back to you, Eric, once again from Kareem, what did you learn from your 2 seasons as head coach that you can move forward and apply to this position?
Probably too many things to list here. I think the idea is that it makes me a better assistant and understand what Cheryl feels in that seat. Lindsay's been through it as well now. It's an experience that you don't really understand until you fully go through it. And the weight that comes with that. But I think the biggest thing is, just the emotional piece with it of being steady through a season if you want to lead and take responsibility for a team. And, it's not the same being in an assistant chair, but hopefully those experiences will, give me maybe a different angle of how to approach people and work with everybody in the group.
And then 2 final questions. First, we'll start off for you, Lindsay. These will both come from Howard Megdal. Apart from coming back to your hometown team, this is your 3rd opportunity to work with a different Thibault. How much does your family connection play a part in bringing you back here?
Well, yeah, I mean, as as we've said, there's a lot of history, and I was very fortunate, Eric's dad, to take a chance on me in 2004, so 20 years ago. And it's, I've learned a lot, from them. And obviously we've been through seasons, and I've worked with Carly, and, I've gotten to know them really well. And so I'm excited to work and, learn and get a chance to, like day to day work with Eric now. And so, obviously there's some history, but, this is the here and now, and we're excited for this opportunity. And so I just think we're ready to go.
And then, excuse me, for this last question will actually be for you, Cheryl, once again from Howard. What are the single most important new elements each Eric and Lindsay bring to the staff for 2025?
Yeah, I think and Eric touched on it, for both of them, the experiences that they had as a head coach is what I'm going to covet the most. They have been in the seat I said some of the most valuable experiences you learn along the way is what not to do in life. I think your most valuable experiences are what not to do. And so I think in terms of the experiences that they've gained in being head coaches, and they'll understand what's needed when. I think in terms of Eric really enjoying being on the court with players and skill development, I think Lindsay has really kind of bitten off a little bit in that space, what she's been doing over the last 18 months. So I think both of these guys add to Rebecca on the court. I think schematically, I think, Eric has been in the WNBA as a coach. I think in terms of how we play, he understands us like right now. He knows us right now. A different perspective about our players is going to be really valuable. And I think for Lindsay, being, as I've said before, what BB does for us, being an interpreter, especially at the position that she played, and being able to communicate maybe at times with Courtney, if I'm saying something, maybe I'm trying to, get something through. Generally speaking, Courtney understands, but I think a different voice, for Courtney. Can we take Courtney to another level? That's our job. That's our job as coaches. And so, put our best foot forward in that way. That's how I think both of these will be best utilized.
And that will conclude virtual. I'll now hand it back to Wendell.
Well, thank you again to Cheryl Reeve, Lindsay Whalen, Eric Thibault. Once again, one more round of applause for these three as we welcome Eric and Lindsay into this Lynx organization. Thank you to those in attendance as well as, of course, those watching. We will have Courtney Williams and Kayla McBride available after this press conference to answer a few questions as well. We will now at this time invite photographers to come on stage to take a picture of these three awesome people together.